Greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I am Doyle, better known as the Big D to y'all, with another back-to-back review in my week of Disney. And this time I bring to you another canine flick or two. It's going to be the Shaggy Dog from 1959 and the Shaggy D.A. from 1976. Both of which I just finished watching, so of course that's what I'm going to plan to do, a back-to-back review of the two since they're both connected in ways because they have the same main character. Anyway, now this film here I'm going to talk about. First I'm going to talk about the one that started all, the Shaggy Dog from 1959, which celebrated its 60th anniversary earlier this year. This was Walt Disney's first ever live-action comedy. Anyway, let's see. It's based on the story The Hound of Florence by Felix Salten and was directed by Charles Barton. Anyway, it's about this teenage boy named Wilbur Daniels, or Wilby for short. He's misunderstood by his father, Wilson, played by Fred McMurray, who after this would go on to star on the hit sitcom My Three Sons. And of course, he would also star in another Disney movie that would be The Absent-Minded Professor, the guy who would create Flubber. And of course, its follow-up, Son of Flubber. But enough about that. Let's see. Now, his dad thinks his son is crazy half the time because of his elder son's often dangerous inventions. Yeah, Wilson is. Anyway, Wilson's a retired mailman who often ran afoul of canines. He is allergic to them, and he simply cannot understand why his younger son, Montgomery, or Moochie for short, would want a dog. Well, so apparently Wilby and his rival Buzz Miller go with a French girl who just moved named Francesca to the local museum, but Wilby gets separated from them two and leave without him. He encounters a former acquaintance, Professor Plumcut, whose newspaper Wilby used to deliver. Tells him all about a mystical ancient series of beliefs, including the legend of the Borgia family, who use shape-shifting as a weapon against their enemies. Well, on his way out, Wilby collides with a table that holds a display case of jewelry, and he ends up with one of the rings in the cuff of his pants. It happens to be the cursed Borgia ring, and he reads the inscription, no sooner said than that. In Canis Corporal Transmuto, which, unknown to him, means into a dog's body I change, and soon it happens. And apparently he transforms into the big shaggy dog named Chiffon, who happens to be the shaggy sheepdog, Bratislavian sheepdog that Francesca has. So apparently now he has to try to figure out to get back soon. Let me see now. He soon transforms back to human form, but then soon things take a turn for the worse again as they go on a date with Francesca. But anyway, I will say that I'm not going to give more of this movie away. Some of you probably haven't seen this movie, because this is 60-year-old movie and what have you. But I will tell you that it's in the Shaggy Dog form. He does some really fun stuff, especially driving Buzz's car. Yeah, pretty cool, huh, folks? Anyway, bottom line is they go after a couple of spies, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Let's see now. Trying this. Oh yes. Yes. Well, they're playing. Well, spies are planning to steal a government secret, and will be over him in his dog form, but he returns to his human form, and that would be from Francesca's butlers, Stefano, and Dr. Velasquez, Francesca's adoptive father. But even with the help of Moochie, and despite being allergic to dogs, Wilby's dad, well, things take a real fun turn. Now, and I'm not going to give the rest of the movie. Now, you can find this movie on Disney Plus. I did read it's on there. So, if it's on there, check it out. You can also find it on the first volume of Disney Dogs, which also includes the next movie I'm going to review, plus the Shaggy Dog from 2006, which I'll be reviewing later tonight, and the Ugly Dachshund, which I'll be reviewing tomorrow. Anyway, aside from the rest of the cast, besides Fred McMurray, is Tommy Kirk, who plays Wilby, the Shaggy Dog, Jane Hagen as Wilby's mother, Frida, and Kevin Corcoran as Moochie. The rest of the cast includes Tim Considine as Buzz, and former Mickey Mouse Club Mouseketeer Annette Funicello as, well, Allison, Cecil Calloway as Professor Plumcut, Alexander Scorby as Dr. Velasquez, and Roberta Shore as Francesca. Now, I'm going to say, would I recommend this movie? Sure, go ahead, give it a shot. It is a pretty fun flick. It kind of does lack a little bit of funniness. It does have some funny moments, but it kind of goes a little bit low. But still, overall, it's a fun movie, and I'd still say give it a try. Okay, now then, I'm going to bring to you a review for the next one, and that would be 1976's The Shaggy D.A. Now, this is actually a continuation after the events of The Shaggy Dog. The film stars Dean Jones, who, of course, I've already reviewed a couple movies he was in, which, of course, was The Love Bug from 68 or 69, whatever you would refer to when it came out, and Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, which came out the following year. Now, of course, Jones had also been in some other Disney movies as well, like The Ugly Dachshund, which also stars another star of this, Suzanne Pleshette. And of course, Jones was also in probably a rarely remembered Disney flick, The Horse in the Great Flannel Suit. Anyway, also in the movie is funny guy Tim Conway, whom we sadly lost earlier this year. Keenan Wynn from Herbie Rides Again, another movie I recently reviewed. Dick Van Patten, who would appear in numerous Disney movies and also be star of TV's Eight is Enough. And funny gal Joanne Worley, best known for her work on various shows, most notably the first 3 seasons of Rowan Martin's Laugh-In. Now, Jones also happened to have sung the theme song to the movie, which is The Shaggy D.A., which is a really funny animated sequence where we start with seeing the doghouse with a little sign over it, like the MGM logo. That was absolutely funny. I think this is one you should check out. Now, this focuses on a grown-up version of Will B. Daniels, who Dean Jones plays. Now a successful attorney, and is married to Betty, played by Suzanne Plachette, and they have a son named Brian, played by Shane Sinutko. I believe that's how you pronounce that name. Anyway, they return to Medfield from a vacation, but they discover they have been robbed of almost all of their possessions. Now, Medfield's also a popular name of a place referenced in lots of Disney movies, most notably movies like the Dexter Riley trilogy, The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, Now You See Him, Now You Don't, and The Strongest Man in the World, which I'll be reviewing all three of those next month in time for the 50th anniversary of The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes. Anyway, now Willie blames the local district attorney who Keenan Wynn plays, John Slade, who is reputed to have connections with organized crime, particularly with warehouse owner Edward Roshak, Fast Eddie he's known by, played by Vic Tayback, who a few months before this, that same year, he was currently playing Mel on TV's Alice, which just started. Anyway, after being robbed a second time, he vows to run for DA to make his town safe again, Wilby does. Meanwhile, the two thugs that had robbed his home observed the Borgia ring at the local museum and assume it might fetch a large sum, and they steal it. And soon, it can only be pawned off to Tim, a local bumbling ice cream salesman. Now, actually, the same year this came out, Mr. Conway was in another Disney movie, Gus, which I've already reviewed that. If you haven't seen it, look up the review. And also, he had recently played in the Apple Dumpling Gang the previous year, which I'll be reviewing that on. I believe I'm going to review that on Thanksgiving. I have to recheck. I may have to look at my schedule again. I think I got that confirmed for Thanksgiving. Yeah, I got it confirmed for Thanksgiving. Okay. Just had to remember. So apparently, he owns an old English sheepdog named Elwood, and he figures he will give the ring to his girlfriend, Katrinka, played by Joanne Worley, local roller derby star and pastry assistant. Well, as he dresses himself for a television broadcast to announce his candidacy, Wilby hears a report of the ring being stolen and freezes in terror, that then reveals his secret to his wife, who is certain his story can't be true. But he warns her that if the inscription is spoken, he will turn into the Shaggy Dog again. And soon, as he's getting ready for his television debut, it happens. Tim discovers the inscription and reads it aloud. Thus, Wilby is a Shaggy Dog again. He's now Elwood. Soon, he's trying to make an escape from Tim and hides in a doghouse. Soon, Willy's back to human form and makes it home and tells everyone that he is running for DA. But to make matters worse, Katrinka receives the ring, and once again, the inscription is read, and, well, you guessed it, it happens again. But anyway, well, Tim tries to take who he thinks is Elwood to the local bar and gets him to talk for people and sing down by the old mill stream. Oh, that's really funny. And after that, there would be a big pie fight after Katrinka read everything, and soon they managed to stop this after the fundraiser for Mr. Slade. So apparently, things take an even bigger turn for the worse when the spell won't wear off. Once Slade repeats it, yes, he sees that Wilby has turned into a shaggy dog, and so he soon gets caught by the local animal control officers, a couple of them. Let me see if I'm trying. And one of them is actually played by Michael McGreevy, who was also best known for playing Richard Schuyler in the Dexter Riley trilogy. Yes. So apparently he makes friends with the other dogs and they help him escape. So with the help of Brian and Tim, they manage to sneak into Rorschach's warehouse and stop him and Slade. But I'm not going to tell you how that goes. You're going to have to see this movie. Now, the Shaggy D.A. is also on Disney Plus. Excuse me, I just ate. Sorry. Anywho, now, Shaggy D.A. was directed by Robert Stevenson, and this will be his final film. Now, from the looks of it, he's directed tons of Disney movies like The Love Bug and Herbie Rides Again. He's also directed other movies including Darby O'Gill and the Little People, which I'll review that next year for St. Patty's Day. He's also directed The Absent-Minded Professor and its sequel, Son of Flubber, and Mary Poppins as well, which I'll also be reviewing later on this week. There's so many other Disney movies he's done. That Darn Cat, the original, and Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, which will also be reviewed. And that's about it. But anyway, would I recommend the Shaggy D.A.? You better believe it. This is very funny. And I liked it a little bit more than the Shaggy Dog. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to take my word for it. But I absolutely got a lot of laughs from it, and I loved it. Dean Jones was absolutely hysterical in it. Tim Conway was very funny in it. Enough said. And that's going to do it for this here double review of, or should I say back-to-back review of the Shaggy Dog and the Shaggy D.A. Again, you can find both movies on Disney Plus, so look them up. And if you have seen these movies, let me know what you thought about the Shaggy Dog from 1959 and the Shaggy D.A. in the comments section. Like and subscribe to my channel and be a part of the Big D Nation. Now, also, before I finish, after these two films, there would later go on to be a television miniseries called The Return of the Shaggy Dog, which would follow the events that took place between the first movie, The Shaggy Dog, and The Shaggy D.A. Then there would be a 1994 made-for-television remake of the movie directed by Dennis Dugan, who had recently directed Problem Child and would later go on to direct Happy Gilmore and Big Daddy. And then, of course, we got the 2006 movie starring Tim Allen as the title character, which you can join me later on tonight for that review, which is actually a combination remake of both those two movies, The Shaggy Dog and The Shaggy D.A. So thank you again for watching my back-to-back review. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya!